Hello, welcome to another stream. Let's continue making video games. So, what I'm going to do today is an exciting day. Hopefully it'll be exciting. All right, so I got cubes in my world. I would like to step away from boring cubes and import custom meshes of cooler things than cubes. So to do that, I'm going to use Blender here to make my meshes and then export them to a custom format that my program will be able to read in and render onto the screen. So why am I making a custom exporter in Blender? Because I could just make like a wavefront OBJ importer or whatever, but I would like to use binary data to import things or as assets because it's just faster for the computer to load. You don't have to parse text and try to figure out what it is that's going on. You could just read the data and use it directly straight up. So what I'm going to do first is try to export just this default cube, right? When you open Blender for the very first time, they give you a cube here in this world. Now, I already got cubes in my world, but I think it'll be a good test to make sure that whatever I write to export this cube will work. So I'm going to stick with the cube for now. Now, before I can do that, I need to put texture data, like the UV coordinates of my cube. So I need to go into edit mode, and then I press the U key, and I'm just going to do Smart UV Project. And what that does is puts the texture data, the UV coordinates for each vertex, onto the cube. So now I could export that. So before I get started, let's go here. So BPY is the Python module that Blender uses. So I'm going to pull up the documentation for that. I hope I don't need it because trying to find anything you want to do in this is a nightmare. But I'm just going to keep it in reserve. Again, hopefully I don't need it. No, I don't care about that. And then also, since I'm writing in Python and my Python is not the best, I'm going to pull up the official Python documentation. Just bookmark that. Let's call that Python. Yeah, okay, so again, hopefully I don't need that stuff, but it's there just in case. I don't want to spend all stream just digging around documentation trying to figure out how to do things. Hopefully I already got all the knowledge I need in my head. I just got to pull it out. So, okay, so I added the UV coordinates to my cube. So I'm going to go over here to the script. I'm going to make a new script. So I need to import that BPY module. And so if you come down here, I could like to consider this little mini console like a scratch paper for doing things. So you can do like BPY dot, and if you press Control space, at least I thought. What's going on? Usually if you press Control space, it'll fill out what's going on. Like it'll try to suggest what you want to do, but now it's just adding a space. I don't know why. That's being really frustrating. Let me try restarting it. I don't want to save any of that. So unwrap this. Go back here. Let's go back to the script. Make a new script. We'll import that BPY. Come back here. BPY dot. All right, it's really not doing that. That is killing my buzz here. What if I BPY dot data? Okay, so am I gonna really have to memorize all this stuff here? Let me Google search this real quick here. Working. Let me type BPY, control space not working. Huh, I don't know why that is not working. That sucks. Oh, so frustrating. It's supposed to work. Is it like this old or newest version of Python doesn't do that anymore? What's going on? Okay, I don't know if I can do this without the suggestions. Let me try Googling that one more time. BPY can't control space. Huh. Download previous. I'm gonna see if maybe a version. See if a previous version has that working. Previous versions. So 2.7. I still want 2.8, but I just want like a regular 2.8. Let me see. Blender version 2.8 download. Okay, let's try downloading. Oh no, I don't want this one again. That's the one I got. What if I get 2.7 nut? I don't want the latest one. This is killing my buzz. I was ready to get some work done. Okay, so I'm going to try Blender 2.79. Whew. Hopefully this will give me the ability to control space, because it's really weird that that's not working. Like usually you just do that and it'll like come up with a big list of all the things you can do with that module or whatever you typed in. All right, so finish that. Let's see, what do I got here? How do I get 2.9? Program files, probably the regular program files, Blender 2.79. Okay, so let me close this one. Don't save anything. All right, so this, not what I'm used to at all. All right, so let's try anyway. Smart UV project. Okay, so then I gotta go. Oh, can't even find where the scripting thing is. Scene, default, scripting. Here we go. All right, so let's make a new script. Import that BPY. Okay, so now if I go down here, BPY dot. Hey, that's working. Great. Okay, so everything I believe is in this data block here. So first thing I need is the object that I'm going to export, which is cube. Did I unwrap that? Yeah, okay. So let's see. So bpy.data dot, is it? Yeah, objects. And then, so yeah, you can just put the name of the object in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little variable here. Obj is equal to bpy dot objects and then cube. I'm just hard coding everything now. Eventually I will make this very robust, or what's the word? Very generic, so that I can just like click a drop down and have it export automatically. Okay, so I got the object that I want to extract. So let me just copy that over here. So obj is equal to bpy.data.objects cube. All right, so now what's this object got? So object, it's got so much stuff, but I think it's all, again, in this data block here. So let's see what that's got to offer. Okay, yeah, this has what I need. So I need the vertices, and the vertices have both the position and the normal. And I think the UV coordinates are in this UV layers thing. So let me just double check the vertices first. So vertices, so I think it's an array. So let's say if I do that, and then, so yeah, so I have to access each vertex individually, but then to get the position, I think it's the CO thing. Yeah, that looks to be a position to me. Yeah, so let me make a variable up here for the vertices, and that's the objects data dot vertices. And then that also, each vertex, if I'm not mistaken, has the normal as well. So again, let's go back to data dot and see. So then the UV layers, okay, so I can access the UV layers like that, and then, but what I actually just need is the number, like the X and Y coordinate. I don't need most of this other stuff at all. I don't see anything here. Let me check the data. Get. I think this is also an array. So what if I just act like that's the first one? Okay, so that works, but UV, is that it? Yeah, that looks like what I'm looking for, to a 2D vector of some numbers, some floating point numbers. All right, so I'm going to assume those are my UV coordinates. I'll call this UVs, and that's the objects data dot UV layers. Yeah, and then I have to say it is this UV map dot data. Okay, so I got the object I'm rendering, the vertices, and then the UV coordinates. What else? Yeah, so I need to know. So the vertices are just a big block of data as far as I know, and so I need to know like what order they go in to make the shape that I'm seeing here on the screen. So I think, let me see, I don't know where that is. So object.data, what do we got? Ooh, I think it's this polygons here. What's in polygons? It's also an array. Okay, so what do the polygons have? Items, like, is there index? What's index? Just 0. Oh, that's just the index in the array. I don't think that's what I need, but I think it might be this vertices here. Let me check what that is. Vertices. Okay, so that's also an array, I think. Yeah, okay, so I think that's what I need. So in the polygons vertices, it's not a position or a normal, it's just an index into this vertices array here. So I know for every polygon, I know what vertices make up that polygon. Hoping that makes sense. Not sure if it even makes sense to me, but we'll find out. So let's make polys is equal to the objects data dot polygons, right? Object dot, yeah. Okay, so I got the actual object that I'm exporting, the vertices, which has the positions and the normals, the UV coordinates, and then the polygons, which will tell me what order to render all that stuff. So what's next? What's next? What is next? I don't know. Let's try. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to iterate through every polygon in my shape. So for I and P in, I want to enumerate through my polygons. Just, I don't know, what I'm going to do just to get something cool on the screen is I'm going to actually, yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to iterate through every vertex in that polygon. So for J, I'll call it V in, and now I need to enumerate through the, what was it again? Every polygon's vertices. Okay, so I'm just going to print out what V is. And then, oh, wait, it's data.objects. Okay, so it seems to work. Toggle system console. 0, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, I think that's working. Okay, so actually I need to collect all of the vertices in a big array. So let's make a vertices array. Or list, I don't know what Python calls everything. And then I need indices too, so I know which order to render everything. Okay, so I'm just going to start appending everything I need into this vertices array. So vertices dot append. So I need, no, so wait. P, no, so I know to append verts at V dot CO, because that was the coordinate, right? UV, I don't remember. Obj dot data dot vertices at 0 dot CO. Yeah, okay. So this is a 3D vector, so I need each component individually. So co.x. Yeah. So then we'll copy that for the z and the y. And then I'm going to add the normal of that, right? That's in there. Yeah, okay. So the normal's x, normal's y and z. And then I need to append the texture coordinates. So vertices dot append UVs at, and I am not 100% sure. I don't think the UV coordinates follow the same system. I don't think, I want to say they just go sequentially, like just 0 through however many there are. So I don't know. I guess I'll find out soon enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a vertex counter, set it equal to 0, and then so I'm going to just use this counter here to to tell which UV coordinate I'm appending to my vertices array. Okay, oh yeah, and I also need the UV for that. The UV's X coordinate, and then the UV's Y coordinate, and then every time I add vertex, I want to increase that vertex counter. Plus equals 1. All right, so so I need to still add the indices, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to print out vertices just as a big old flood of numbers, just to see if I'm getting any problems here. It doesn't seem like it. And yeah, okay, I'm getting a bunch of vertices. Looks like a position, maybe a normal, and it's probably a texture coordinate. I want to clear this every time so I'm not getting data on top of data. How do I do this? So I think it's OS from OS import whatever system. And I can do system clear screen. Does that work? Oh, there didn't be any errors. Yeah. So if, just to emphasize that it's working, let's run that again. Should be blink, and it is. All right, cool. All right, this is, well, despite the fact that I had to backtrack to an older version of Blender, this is seemingly going well. I don't know, I'm probably going to try to render it, and it's going to look like a piece of garbage or something, I don't know. Okay, so now I need to figure out how to do the indices. So, and it's tricky because it's not always going to be triangle. If it was everything was a triangle, it would be easier because then I could just go in order. But it's not like that. And I think there's a way to make the mesh so that every face is just triangles, but I don't want to do that. I want to be able to just take any mesh with minimal editing and just import it into my game. So I'm going to try to write this to accommodate for whatever Blender wants to do with its meshes. So okay, so assuming that this J counter is a I'm sorry, how am I explain this? Assuming that the current polygon I'm iterating through is a triangle, then I just want to add whatever the latest vertex I added. I want to reference that latest vertex. So so basically, if the J is less than 3, right, so then that means I'm still within the realm of one triangle. Then what I want to do is just add to my indices whatever the last vertex was. And then, so I can just use this vertex counter here. And since it's 0 base, I need to subtract 1 from it. Vertex counter -1. And then that will build a triangle. But else, so let's say I'm adding a 4th vertex to my face. I now need to render a whole nother triangle. So I need to add 3 indices into my indices array. So that is going to look something like, oh God, I don't even know. All right, let me, this is gonna be a disaster. Let me pull up Paint here and try to figure this out. So we got vertex 1, vertex 2, vertex 3. That is one triangle. If I add vertex 4, I now need to draw another triangle starting at, so that's 0, 1, 2, 3. So starting at 0, 0 to 2, to the newest one, back to 0. And it's not always going to be 0 because, I mean, this is going to be moving on. So I think what I need to do is keep track. Let's call this, I don't know, face counter. And then, so for every polygon, I'm going to update this face counter to just be the length of however many indices I have. So face counter equals the length of indices. All right, so yeah, so that was basically whatever the first one is here. So indices dot append. So I want to append the same index, so the same member inside the indices array that's at this face counter. And so then, so here, this is the latest one I added. So then I want to go back to this one, which is 2 elements back from the array, from the end of the array, right? Because this is the latest one, and so I want to go start at that one and go back 2. So I want to add another index, append. So I need to get the indices at, and then so the location is whatever the length of indices are, minus 2, and then that's that element that I'm appending. And then, so then I want to just add whatever the most recent one I added into the vertex array, which is the same as this here, I think. Okay. I am like 2% confident that that is correct, but we're going to just proceed as if it is. Just give myself some more. What did I just do? There we go. There we go. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so give myself some more space. Okay, so now I just need to write all of this stuff to a file. So let's make a file equals, I think it's just open. It's pretty laid back. Then I want to put this file, let's see. So starting on my C drive, users, slow mode cheat code, desktop. Okay, so C:/ users / slow mode cheat code / desktop. Let's just put it on the desktop to see if it's working for now, and then I'll later change it to just go directly into my project. And I will call this q dot text mesh. All right, does that work? No, I'm getting errors. No such file or directory. Is it backslash or forward slash? Oh, wait. I think I also need to say what type of file I'm writing, or what type of file I'm opening. So I want to write a file, binary format. And yeah, okay, there it didn't give me any errors. Yeah, okay. Did it create the file though? Oh, it did. Awesome. Okay, so I think I'm done with you. All right, and then eventually I need to close that file. And then I need to write things to the file. So I think I need this array. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I'm just going to try array. Okay, so the format I'm going to use, I'm going to have 2 integers, 2 unsigned integers at the beginning of the file that will say how many bytes take up the vertices, how many bytes take up the indices. Then I'm just going to pile on the vertex data, and then immediately following that is going to be all the index data. So I think I want to just do array.array. And then I need to find out what I need to find out something. Language reference, library reference. I think that's what I need. I got stuff for the array package in here. Efficient way arrays. Oh, awesome. That's exactly what I was looking for. So yeah, what type of data I'm adding. So capital I is unsigned int. So I want to do capital I And then I'm going to put the length of my vertices. And since each vertex is a float, I need to multiply that by 4. And I think it has to be a list because it's an array, so I'll put that in square brackets. And I'm just going to immediately write that to the file. All right, and then do the same for the indices, but then since they're shorts, it will be times 2, and that'll also be an unsigned int. Is this working so far? Seems to be. Yeah, let's get rid of that. There we go. All right, so now I just want to add the, is it F? Oh yeah, lowercase f. I'm going to add my vertices to the file. And I want to add the, what's unsigned short? Capital H. That's weird. The indices. All right. Dare I say, I think I may be finished, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not confident that this is going to be 100% working. But let's try. So let's run the script. Script is here. Let's just drag that into my project. Let's open up the project. And so I can get rid of this here. Actually, let's get rid of that for sure. This, I'm just going to cut that from here. Oops. And put this down here where I'm creating my meshes. Yeah, so I'm going to delete this try mesh at all. I'm not even using that anymore. Let's just change that to 1. Get rid of all this randomness. Okay, so let's put it here, right below where I'm making this cube mesh. And what I am actually going to do, because I'm going to be doing a lot of file, like, I don't know, I just need like some kind of space to put data temporarily, and then I'm going to overwrite it, like, because it's just going to be for this one thing. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make a static U8 pointer. I'm just going to call this a temp storage buffer. That's S-T-O-R-A, yeah. So temporary storage buffer, and then I'm going to just use that for everything. Temp storage buffer, and I could use malloc, but since everything else I'm doing is using the operating systems library, everything's going through Windows, I'm going to use Windows thing to allocate memory. If I know which one it is, allocate memory. Comparing memory allocation methods. Oh, I got some choices here. Global alloc, heap alloc. Is it heap alloc? Then I need some kind of handle to a heap, right? I don't want to. I think virtual alloc is better. Or do I need to know what address? Oh, just ping as mine. Okay, so I could just leave it, let the system decide how big I want the allocation to. Yeah, I think virtual alloc's what I want. Let's try that. So let's get rid of that. and put virtual, oh look at that. So then that could just be 0. The size, how big should this temp storage buffer be? Let's make it, I don't know, 32 gigabytes, or no, megabytes. So 32 times 1024 times 1024. Put a note here. This is dumb. Should formalize that a little bit better, but I just want to get some cubes from Blender on my game. What else do I need? So I need the allocation type. And commit and reserve. I do want to reserve memory. I don't know. I'm just going to use this first one. I'm going to assume the first one's the right one. I don't know. It's dumb. All right. Then the FL Pro text. Is that right? Yeah. So memory protection, if the pages are being committed, can specify one of the memory protection constants. I think I want read write. I just want to read and write from this data. All right. I'm probably just better off using malloc. I don't even know what half this stuff is. All right, so then I'm going to use my temp storage buffer. And actually, you know what? Quick detour. Since I have this temporary storage buffer, I can get rid of this. I'm actually going to use that because I never did like the way I was doing this. Where did it go? Yeah, I had this like float temp data, and I was just putting my system memory to an address, or pointing to the address of that. I feel like that's not the way to do things. So let's just have it point to my temporary storage buffer. And so yeah, let's try this. Okay. Okay, so I'm allocating my temporary storage. I am, okay, so then this file I want to read is, what did I call it? Oh yeah, cube.textmesh. Cube.textmesh. All right, let's just see if that compiles. It does. And I get an error creating vertex buffer. Error creating index buffer. Is that because this temp storage thing is not working? Oh yeah, you know, I think I'm allocating this too late. Where did I can't keep track of anything. Okay, so let's just make this the very first thing that happens. So even before I create my window, I'm just going to allocate all of that space. There we go. All right, so I got the one cube, but that's the cube I have hard-coded into my graphics utilities here. So that's not what I'm trying to do yet. Let us now. Okay, so I'm reading the file. So let's make a U8 pointer, call this file data. Just point it to the temp storage buffer. And then I'm going to get a unsigned int for the vertex size. And that is just the first thing in the file data. And I want to actually cast it to a U32 pointer. So that should give me how many bytes the vertices take up. Oh, actually, and then I want to increase the file data by 4 because I'm increasing it by 4 bytes. And then the index size should come next, is equal to U16 pointer file data. No, it's still U32. This is just the size, not the actual indices itself. So then we want to also include or increase that by 4. And let's do a breakpoint here and test this so far. So hopefully these will be reasonable numbers. Via 768, 72. That's not outlandish. I will think that's working. All right, so then I can make a float pointer. I'll call this just verts VTS. And that's going to also point to a float 32 casting of the file data. Now I want to increase the file data by however many bytes take up the vertices, which is saved in VSZ. And then now I can make a unsigned short pointer. I'll call this is equals U16 pointer casting of file data. And I don't need to increase the file data because I've already got all the data I need. All right, so I am ready to make a textured mesh with this stuff. So textured mesh, let's call this cube2 is now equal to create textured mesh. So the vertices, the vertex size, the indices, the index size. Yeah, so then let's set the texture of that to just be the texture. And I don't think the texture is going to be right because even if I do have the texture coordinates put in each vertex correctly, the way Blender does their textures is different. Like I don't know, the unwrapping thing is weird, but. Okay, so let's test this here. So then this is going to just equal cube2. And it's not compiling. So initially it cannot convert from a float 32 to a float 32 pointer. 392. Yeah, that should be a pointer. Same with that one. Okay, it compiles. It runs. Oh my goodness. That is actually a lot closer than I thought I was going to get. I thought it was just going to be like, if not nothing, I thought it was going to be like just a bunch of like scattered polygons. Oh man, I'm so happy. But it looks like they're being rendered in the opposite direction. In fact, I can prove that. If okay, so front clockwise, front counterclockwise fall. So if I set that to true, I should then get the cube as you would expect. And I do. Yeah, of course the textures are wrong, but again, like I said, I think that's going to be fine. All right, so how do I make it? So I want front face, I want clockwise face culling, so I want to put that back to false, and I think I just got to modify my, first of all, let's put this in the actual project itself. And then how do I just want to do this backwards, right? So that would be 2 minus. I doubt that's going to work at Unsigned short is less than minimum. Okay, yeah, I don't think that's right. But you know what? Since I got the script here, what I'm gonna do actually, I'm going to let me just copy all this into Notepad for now, because I'd rather be using the most up-to-date version of Python if I can. I mean, not Python, but Blender. All right, so let's open up the most recent one. Yeah. No, that's still 2.9. No, that's what I want to miss. Where is it? Let's go here, program files, Blender 2.8. There we go. Let's open up that one. Let's unwrap this cube. Go to the script and then new. Let's paste all that in there and then run that. And now I'm getting errors. So let's go to Windows, System Console. What's going on here? Index 0 out of range, size 0. What? Oh, I can't do it in edit mode. It's got to be in object mode. There we go. All right, and it should have just went straight into my project here. So if I just run it. Okay, so now it's fine. So I think that old version of Blender does things backwards, but then 2.8 does things frontwards. Let me just double check. Did I put that back to false? Yeah, okay. Cool. Oh no, now it's back to this. Oh, because I didn't recompile. Dang. Okay, so I was wrong about that. Let me rerun that just to emphasize. Yeah, okay, so it's doing the back face. I want to call the back front counterclockwise. I guess I could just have the front be clock or counterclockwise, but wait, front face. Yeah, no, I don't like that. So I think I just got to reorder this here somehow. What if I just did 2 minus on this one only? That doesn't work. Unsigned short is less than minimum. Okay, I'm gonna worry about that later. So for today, what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and put that as true, not tur, but true. Oh no, now it can't even open the file. Oh, because it didn't write the file. There we go. Oh no, that's cool. I broke it again. Text finish. What did I do? This all seems fine. What if I put it on the desktop and then drag it over again? What does that mean? I just deleted it. Okay, so I think Blender's still using this, like locking my file. All right, actually, I want to this text save as. Let's just put this on the desktop for now, and I will call this textured mesh exporter. All right, so let's close Blender. There we go. I don't need to save any of that. We close you. That's now saved there. Put this here. Replace it. There we go. And another thing is the normals are kind of weird because I believe the normals are just pointing directly out of the corner of the cube. So it has this like really smooth shaded effect even though it's a cube, and it shouldn't really be like that, but that's minor. I can fix that, I believe, really easily. Yeah, okay, so let me get Blender back on, and then I don't want to use this old version. Oh, what? Okay, so let's unwrap that. Okay. Go back here, open. Desktop. There it is. Here's my. There we go. All right, so let's just try this one more time. I just want to double check that this script is working. Oh, and then I can put it directly into my project, I believe. All right, so I run that, and then if I just jump right into my project and run that, everything's fine. Okay, so now let's try it with something a little bit more complex than a cube. So let's delete that. Let's try an icosphere. Let's make it a really small, or really low res icosphere. All right, so then all I need to do, I need to unwrap it, get its texture coordinates. All right, so then I want to change that to be icosphere. That's what it is there. Okay, so I'm still calling it cube text mesh, which is fine. Oh no. Okay, so now it's backwards. What the heck? I don't know what's going on. So it's like working, but not. What if I don't call anything at all? Still not correct. Why is that? Am I not getting enough? Oh, you know, another theory I have. I'm still have these okay, so my vertex and index buffer are still just have this hard-coded number here. So let's make that a lot bigger. Let's just make it 10 times as big. It'll probably blow up my computer. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, so that was the problem. So yeah, just my buffer wasn't big enough. Didn't have enough space to fill in or to put on all the vertices. Which, speaking of this, if I go back to Blender here, this is not really that efficient because I'm potentially adding vertices that have already been there, because you can share the same vertex, right? You can make a triangle, like two triangles, and then the points of those two triangles could also share like the same position in space. So I should really come up with a way to check if I haven't already added the vertex, then add it. But if I have added, then instead just use the index from the one that I've already added. But I don't really want to get into that now. So yeah, okay. So I got something more complex than a cube for once. That's great. I just wish the face culling would work with me here. So if I put this back to cull the back face, and then I say that the front face is counterclockwise. Oops, I got some errors here. Cannot, still running. There we go. Okay, all right, so that seems fine. So I'm cooling the back face, but then I want to say that the front face is counterclockwise, which I want to fix my exporter. Okay, cool. So let's go for the granddaddy of them all. Let us see if we can import the infamous Suzanne. All right, so let's unwrap her. And then I gotta change this to be Suzanne, all that I want. All right, so I run it, go back here, and I only get half of Suzanne, which is better than I thought, actually. So I think it's still the same problem. I really need to figure out how big to make these buffers. Let's just add an extra 20,000. Okay, yeah, getting there. You know what I should do? Let's go to my utilities. Let's make a define for what a kilobyte is. And then so it's x, and then so this is going to be just whatever x times 1024, and then define a megabyte, and that's going to be x times 1024 times 1024, and then a define of a gigabyte, and that's x times 1024 times 1024 times 1024. I should put those in parentheses. You know what? I think, well, yeah, because this is just a kilobyte. So I can then just use my define right above it, kilobyte. And then this would be a x times 1024 megabytes. I don't think that makes it any more efficient. It just looks cooler. Yeah, so let's make this same as my, okay, actually let's, now that I got those defines, I want to use those. So so that would be 32 megabytes, 32. And let's just make these other buffers the same. megabytes. There we go, and I got the full Suzanne going on here. Awesome possum. All right, you know what's next, right? Oh, delete it. I should have just commented out. Oops, no, that's not what I wanted. So I'm gonna make 1,000 Cézannes, and then I gotta put all that stuff back. So seed equals XOR shift seed, and then we're gonna say meshes dot position dot x equals seed modulo 100, and then let's offset it by 50. Oh yeah, and then so then we're going to do the same for the y and the z, and hopefully I'll get 1,000 Cézannes. No, I don't, because I missed semicolons. Position meshes at I. Oops. All right. Huzzah. Oh yeah, another thing, they're actually, okay, so if I go back to Blender here, so it's facing up here, but then in my game, they're horizontal, and I think that's because Blender's coordinate system is different. So this is X, this yellow line is actually the Y coordinate, or Y axis, and Z goes up and down. Mine, left and right is X, forward and back is Z, and then Y is up and down. So let's see, how can I, is there an easy way? I think I could just rotate the vertex position, right? So let me see if I just say RV for rotated vector, or I'll say RP for rotated position, is equal to the verts at v dot co dot rotate negative. Wait, so if I wanted to rotate this, rotate it along the x negative 90. Yeah, so that's what I want. Let's do that. How do I rotate? Wait, I think I just say rotate. I don't know. Let me, heaven forbid, try to find out what I need in this documentation here. Rotate. Transform. So BM sense. Okay, so I think I need to import math utils to do this. Import math utils. Oh, okay, so the center of rotation, and then what are my other options for rotate? Oh, here we go, rotate the vector. So I need an Euler. Alternative on matrix. go. All right, let me copy this. And so Euler is a Matthew Till's Euler. I'm not sure. So I think that should be negative 90. And then I go to rotate it with vec.rotate. So RP is the so the vertex at V, I want to rotate that by the amount in U. I don't know, let's just see. Yeah, getting errors. Alright, so math is not defined. What? Okay, I gotta import math too. Still. Mesh vertex object has no attribute rotate. Oh, yeah, math.co.rotate. There we go. Oh, and that actually just, I didn't expect it to change the actual mesh. I just wanted it to rotate that coordinate. Can I undo that? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I actually want to make a copy of the coordinate. So let's say v copy is equal to verts. Yeah. Can I do this? Yeah. All right, I don't know if that actually did what I wanted it to do, but let's see. Nope, nothing at all. Oh, but I want to only, I think, yeah, because I only want to rotate around the x-axis, right? So that makes sense. Nope. I don't know. I don't understand how these Eulers work. Let's see if I can figure this out. Oh, okay, so I gotta rotate the Euler. So I think this should be 0 then. And then I'll say you'll dot rotate, right? Underscore axis. I want to rotate it around the x-axis, and I want to rotate it, yeah, math dot radians of whatever negative 90 degrees is. Problems. 23. Oh, radians. Right? R-A-D-I. No D. There we go. All right. Did that do anything I wanted it to? Probably not. Nope. Oh, duh, because I'm not even using that new point. There we go. No. It's now a problem. Non-type object has no attribute X. Oh wait, so I think if I just do that, it rotates VC, so then I can just use that. Nope. It's grasping at straws here. Permission denied. Oh yeah, because I was still running the game. So it should be good now. Let's see. And they're rotated. Yay, great. So let us now save that. Text save. Yeah, I'm actually happy with this. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here pretty soon because I set out to accomplish importing complicated meshes, and that is what I'm doing. Now, of course, there's a million ways to, oh, you know what? I need to rotate the normal as well because my lighting is now wrong. Let me just fix that real quick. Yeah, so we'll say Vn equals verts at v dot normal dot copy it, so I don't actually affect the mesh in Blender. And then I want to do Vn dot rotate by that Euler. And then this can all be Vn. All right, run that. Oops, getting errors, getting errors. What's wrong? Oh, keep forgetting. Can't do that. There we go. All right, and now the lighting is fixed. They're rotated the way they need to be. This is great. Okay, so next time, what I think I'm going to do is clean this up a little bit. I would like to make it like an official plugin, so I can just come here like object and then export, and then not have to like hard code these things in here every time, like the file destination, the object. And then I want to optimize this a little bit better so that I'm not potentially using the same vertex or adding the same vertices in my vertex buffer every time. So let me just make a little to-do here. I got my to-do list. All right. Make mesh exporter a plugin. But before I do that, I want to, yeah, optimize mesh exporter. And what else? There's something else I wanted to do. Oh yeah, fix the rendering order so that I don't have to. Let's see. Yeah, because I want to cull the back face, but I want the front face to be clockwise, not counterclockwise. So I want to try to figure out how to rearrange the order of my indices so that they will be put clockwise, not counterclockwise. Yeah, so let's say, where's my to-do list here? Optimize mesh exporter, reorder indices to be clockwise. All right, yeah, so I think that's it. Let me just check that out one more time. Cool. All right, let me save this to GitHub. Everything, git commit. Oh, actually, before I do this, I want to take the actual exporter and put it in my project, so that way I'll have it, and then I can just clear off my desktop here. Okay, so let me add everything again, and then we'll this time commit it. Started Blender Mesh Exporter. All right, so next time we'll finish that up, and then we'll move on from there. Cool. All right, thanks everybody. I'll see you next time.